Hey guys, welcome to episode 5 of Design Duels. My guest this episode is Brahim Bensehoul from Ubisoft. He's a senior concept artist there. Had a lot of fun doing this challenge with him. Let's get into it. Hey, Brahim, how's it going?
Going well, and you? How's it going?
Good. Glad to have you on the channel. It's been a while. We started this quite a while ago, I think, but glad to
Yeah,
finally get it through. Today
thanks for having me.
yeah, absolutely. And today we're going to be drawing a mutant post-apocalyptic gunslinger, I guess.
Yeah, definitely was a fun theme to draw.
Yeah, I had fun with it. I got a little bit. We'll see in the video, I guess. I got a little bit I had very narrow vision. I had a hard time branching out from the original idea that I had. But yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, so I kind of got pretty quickly into this this idea of, for some reason, mutant I couldn't get off of just multiple arms. Especially gunslinger, it'd be advantageous to have as many guns as you can have shooting at people. Yeah, I'm really curious to see where you went with it, and what your thought process was like.
Yeah, I think that's you will see. You will see
Okay,
this.
okay. The theme I kind of kept going back and forth on too, in terms of when I think of post-apocalyptic stuff, like Fallout is one of the first things that comes to mind. So I had a lot of that 50s nuclear war scare stuff kind of in my head. So there's some of that, but then originally I was going for sort of a Old West prospector kind of a look, but I think I'd deviate pretty hard from that at some point. We'll kind of see what happens in a minute here. I'll say this, I think I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I ended up with 8 arms total. It was a bit of a challenge to try to get the shapes to work with that many arms.
Yeah,
And because I was trying to push shapes, and it's when you have that many arms, they take up so much real estate on the design.
yeah,
But I think that kind of ended up being okay. It's sort of you have a lot of lines pointing to the face just from the arms being
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah. It definitely looks cool. And I just noticed both of our characters have a cigar.
Oh yeah,
That's
you
that's something we have in common.
gotta have a cigar. Yeah, this is the third character I've drawn in a row now that's had a cigar. So,
Yeah,
I always like the idea of them having a cigar when it just makes no sense too. I gave my guy a gas mask, but he's still smoking a cigar through the mask anyway.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. No, it adds some personality to the
Yeah,
character rather than just having a T pose where the character is not doing anything. I think these kind of things just, add more life to the character. So
yeah.
it makes sense.
I like the idea too of he'll have a gun in every hand eventually, but it's not so important that he still doesn't have a cigar in one hand. He still needs that anyway. It was pretty much felt like an anatomy study at some point because there's so many arms I had to draw. But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not only the arms, but for me, well, a spoiler, I also have a lot of arms. But yeah, it's not only having a lot of arms, which obviously looks cool, but you have to make it look as if it anatomically works and it's
yeah,
functioning. I think that's, for me, it's always the challenge, because you can always just paste arms on top of each other, but it's challenging. And
yeah,
for me, I think working on video games, I'm always thinking about it, that I will hand the model, the concept to a 3D modeler, and they have to make it from
yeah, yep,
different angles. So I can't just put an arm out of nowhere. So it had to somehow
yeah.
fit. Yeah,
Yeah, I was trying to think about that quite a bit, at least. Especially, I was end up thinking about the attachment muscles and how here with the shoulders and the pecs coming down, the second, if you have another set of arms lower,
yeah,
there has to be room for the muscles to attach and all that stuff.
yeah, and the bones. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, the
I mean,
bones.
it's
I think you can cheat the bones sometimes. I mean, like obviously, like if they're rigging it, you got to be able to rig it
Yeah,
correctly. But
yeah,
yeah, what I did start to think about the bones a little bit, and I was like, ooh, this is a mess. So I don't know
yeah.
how accurate my skeleton would be.
No, it's never going to be accurate. That's why it doesn't exist in reality.
Yeah.
I think just even like small things like having a dragon with four legs and then wings. Even that
Oh,
is
yep,
it's complicated, and it's always
yep,
fascinating hearing creature designers trying to make it as close to reality as possible.
yeah,
So if that's difficult, imagine having a character with 8 arms.
yeah,
It's too crazy. But it's we're having fun. It's not.
yeah. Yeah, and at some point, I don't know if I started with this, but I switched to having, I wanted to have him give him some variations. So I gave him a rifle with 2 arms and then
Yeah.
kind of pistols with the rest. I tried to like vary up what they were doing. So like some of them are shooting, some of them are like the one he's got up here. Eventually, I draw in some shells popping out like he's reloading that one. I thought
Yeah.
about doing one thing that kind of we were talking about with the bones too. I thought about doing like 2 hands on one elbow, like so that he could like reload with the
Mm.
same arm, like reload the gun that he
Ah,
was holding, but that got really weird looking, so it's kind of hard to reel that in. I kind of abandoned that one, but I spent a lot of time. I think most of the time I spent on this was just this kind of like refinement phase.
yeah.
I did get a little bit carried away on the rendering too, so hopefully it's not too different. But this took me a lot longer than I thought it would.
Did you figure out a spot in the gas mask where he would put the cigar in?
Not like not that I showed distinctively, but in my head,
Mm.
that little like side thing
Ah,
kind of
okay.
figured. And I was sort of imagining as the gas mask would be and he's got these little radio things too. I
Yeah.
kind of imagine that being like something that filters out like radioactive material, but not necessarily like smoke, so you could still breathe
Mm,
that in. But
yeah. Yeah, it's a cool idea. I wish I thought about it. Like the people that smoke a lot that have these devices in their
oh
mouth
yeah,
to
yeah,
like to breathe better. That would be a cool idea to take that and like exaggerate it to 100 and have this
yeah,
character
yeah,
with a bunch of valves in their throats and they're still smoking.
yeah,
I
for
think that
sure.
would be cool.
No, I might have to steal that idea for a future video or something.
No
Or if you
worries.
can, if you come back on the channel, we could do that because that'd be really cool. I would love that. Yeah, and the antenna thing too. It was kind of just a visual aesthetic, but I thought it'd be the practical side of that. I was thinking of it being more of a sort of like a Geiger counter, radioactive detection kind of a thing
Mm,
too. Originally, I was going to do. I even had a weird idea of giving him like a very blue, lead looking skin, as if he like
mm,
evolved to like kind of block radiation damage.
mm.
Um, like replacing melanin in your skin with like lead. But I don't know. I ended up. You'll see when I start doing like color study, like color, trying out things with that. That I got stuck on this like yellow color, and I kind of just didn't want to change it after that because I just thought it looked cool.
Yeah, me too. We all have this vision of the Western theme, and it always has this high noon,
Yeah.
orange, sand, sepia feel to it,
I think
and
with
it's
radioactive like mutants too, like kind of certain IPs are so iconic, like Fallout, that it's like you get this like vision of what people have
exactly.
done, and then it's like hard to get away from that because it's already in everyone's brain of like this is what to expect. Um,
Yeah, yeah. It's always challenging because you have to obviously you have to make it recognizable. So you have to use things that people expect,
yeah,
and you want to be creative. So it's
yeah.
very challenging to find the correct uh, point, I guess.
I think the 80/20 rule is helpful in those scenarios. Usually, kind of
That's
doing
true.
like
Yeah.
20% a little bit different without getting too crazy.
Yeah.
I don't remember why I
Yeah.
threw aviators in there. I just thought they looked cool, I think, but
I don't think they had aviators in the old Western time, but yeah, I mean, you're
Yeah, but
combining
I was kind of imagining
context.
this being less of like Old West themed, but in the future once nuclear
Yeah,
fallout has kind of happened. So I was even these the armor that I picked is actually just old like 50s era American like football armor or
oh, that's
football
nice.
padding.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
barely changed them at all. I like didn't even really design them that much just because I like the shapes so much. I think the wrist and the shin armor is I just made up, but the chest armor is almost exactly like old football armor, just because I thought it looked kind of
yeah,
cool with the like rounded plastic.
yeah. Man, the rendering is looking very very cool.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I didn't go that far into the shading and everything.
Well, I feel bad because I this is even like we'll skip at the end of the video. I like did a bunch of stuff kind of after. I was trying not to paint
Yeah,
it, and I was actually referencing your art to like hit a level of polish because I really like you have like a really nice loose style where you get a lot of information across without over rendering. And I was kind of trying to hit that, but I don't work that way super often, so it was a little bit of a challenge for me.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's definitely looking very cool. Yeah, but you cheated. We said flat colors, so
Yeah,
so yeah. If we do another video, I'm not gonna trust you. I'm going
yeah,
all in with the rendering.
that's fair. I did this little logo here. I just wanted to put something on his shoulder pad. I did like an 8 because of the 8 arms, and then
Mm,
I kind of had a little bit of playing card thing. I thought about doing a playing card background with like an 8 on it, but that was a little too busy, so I ended up kind of just I don't even think I keep the skull in the
yeah.
background at the end. Yeah, so
Wow.
flash forward here, I like did a bunch of color adjustments, mostly to try to like compress the value range a little bit, and make things read a little bit better. And there we go.
Yeah, that looks very cool, man.
Thanks. Yeah, I
Good
had
job.
a ton of fun doing it.
All right. So yeah, I actually, like I said, I worked on another one that's was not recorded properly, so I started again. But I also always had the same idea that because of radiation, that this person is
Yep.
has multiple arms. I went ahead more than you, and I had multiple heads. It's almost
Yeah,
as if, three people are conjoined in
yeah.
one.
That's funny.
So
I didn't record it because it was on. I was it was in a sketchbook. But I was playing D&D with some friends, and we have a lot of people, so I was just like kind of sketching while I was waiting for other people to do stuff. And I did a few sketches with like either multiple heads or like one, like it's like two heads merged into one like shape kind of a thing. But I kind of abandoned it. But I really like how you laid them out. Kind of solved the problem I was running into.
yeah, I was like, one thing I like about Western is that how crazy the facial hair is. Like the
Yeah,
mustaches are
yeah,
so huge. So I put that in, and at this point I got this idea of like each head has its own strengths. So the one in the middle is with the vision, has a lot of eyes.
yep,
The one on the right has multiple ears, so it has super hearing, and the other one has multiple noses.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah, and this is
Ooh,
like a trick to hide what we were talking about the
yeah.
skeleton, making it work. Just add a bunch of beard to hide it. I know.
I love the beard. Like just visually, I
Yeah,
think it's really cool too.
yeah. It
Ooh,
had
and the ribs.
some exposed ribs.
Yep. I love exposed ribs. I have a hard time whenever there's some sort of like zombie anything
Yeah,
adjacent to that, it's cool feature.
yeah. There's some interesting like the gun obviously wouldn't work, but I thought
It's a cool
like
concept though. I really like that.
it's so strange that it looks nice, and also gave him like six fingers just to make it
Oh
extra
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
At this point, I also was thinking to give him a gun on each hand, But then I was thinking maybe, yeah, one of the hands is holding this wanted poster.
Yeah.
It's probably not too clear because like it's facing him, but hopefully it's clear enough. So yeah, I was thinking of him as some sort of a mutant bounty hunter that you don't want him to be following you because he's good at seeing, hearing, and smelling. So
Yeah.
can't run away from him.
These are awesome ideas. I really like it.
Yeah, just for fun and variety. Like instead of giving him a gun on his arm, he just like
Yeah.
his hand, just to scare people. Maybe he's among like a big group. Here I was just trying some ideas, maybe to give him a rifle. I think it would work, but with the composition and everything, I was not too happy about it. So at the end, I decided to abandon it. Even though like having like this repeater rifle, it's something iconic. Yeah, so another gun, but making it a little bit more fantasy, more crazy, something that doesn't work. In this one, I was using Gatling gun. I think that's how you say it. The one that's just like a miniature version of it.
No, I like how the guns sort of look like they're mutated as well.
Exactly. Yeah, that's you said it better than me. Yeah. Some things with the Western, of course, they have giant buckles. But make it spiky just to make him look more dangerous.
Yeah, you're finding cool shapes so quickly. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's also the recording is sped up, so it looks.
Yeah.
Even me looking at it is like, oh yeah, I'm kind of good at what I do, but actually it's much slower, and yeah.
But I think that's one thing I'm trying to get better at, and I think a lot of people struggle with is trying to work fast and thinking that means your hand has to move fast. But it's like I feel like it always goes quicker when you're very slow and intentional with where you're putting the lines. Like maybe you do a fast like stroke for smoothness or whatever. But it's not like you're just like scribbling really fast everywhere. It's kind of like focused.
Yeah, it's just with experience. The more you do something, the more your brain gets more efficient at taking the more efficient route. And instead of doing 5 or 10 lines, you can do 2.
Yeah,
and one of them will work. And it's not something you can just rush.
This caught me by surprise a little bit, just because I mean, we'll see where you finish it too. But looking at all your other work, usually my favorite thing that you do, well, not my favorite, because you have a lot of really cool designs, and anyone watching this definitely go check out his ArtStation. But you do such a good job with clothing usually. Like that's usually what I get drawn into. Is like the clothing shapes are always like really awesome. Yeah. So like this is cool because like he barely has any clothes on, and it's still like some really cool design elements that you worked in there.
Yeah, I wanted to show how crazy, like the chest with the ribs and everything. Would have done it disservice to hide everything under clothing. And I'm also imagining the atmosphere where this character lives is very hot, so yeah, it's not necessary to wear clothing. But yeah, in general, I like fashion, so I try to incorporate it.
I mean, even the subtle things you did do, like the really big hat and the belt buckle and stuff. Like I like accentuating those things, especially the iconic Old West stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you said, it's the 80-20, so you have to have the identifiable parts, but find a way to exaggerate them.
this part, I'm curious to see like where you finish and what I know we like did a we're supposed to do like cell shading, but I'm curious to see how you did this part and like what your process is, just because you do when I look at your pieces, I can see so much like I said, information with so little effort in like a good way. Um I think you can find you make things very readable and very like interesting without too many brushstrokes, or like you can see just some like looseness in there that makes it feel really organic and nice.
Exactly. Yeah, thanks. No, it's for me. It's the most enjoyable part is the design, and I think if you're successful at showcasing the design with in a simple way, and it's successful, that's the most important part.
Yeah,
Because yes, a lot of people look. You can hide it with a bunch of rendering and it looks
yep,
nice, but as long as the foundation is good, for me, I just try to move on from that.
yeah.
Yeah, here I'm just adding some uh, different hues to the skin just to make it look more alive.
I like the red beard option too, especially tying it into like the color palette of the other stuff.
Yeah, I also made the guns like this rusted
Yeah.
metal color just to show that nothing is in a pristine
Yeah.
condition.
I love weathering stuff. I hate usually drawing pristine stuff. The more gunk.
Yeah, and I also added a bunch of dirt and stuff to the clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, some very color variation to the beard and stuff also. Yeah, just these small details, they add a lot instead of just having just a flat color. Yeah, I added the tiny cigar in his mouth.
The more I look at it too, I really like the lack of eyes on that one head.
Yeah, he's the hearing hand. I did a bunch of flies on top of them just to show that they are not the most hygienic. It's very hot and sweaty, so yeah. This most of the lighting I did, I just try to have a warm light on the left and cooler light on the right. That's about it. Some effects on the background, maybe smoke or something. But yeah.
I think you're doing one
I think
thing,
that should
kind of getting back into that idea of design trumps rendering. Even your lighting, I can tell you're doing like you're designing the shape of the lighting. It's not just, I think sometimes I get too caught up in trying to make the lighting look realistic and thinking like, well, how exactly would the light look on the bicep and the arm? And you have to follow that to a certain point. But I think you are better off like designing the shape to be pleasing than like sticking 100% to reality.
No, yeah. Even I think that's about it. But even in movies, like you think that the colors are realistic, but they always add
Yeah,
different things to make the characters pop out. So it's good to understand the fundamentals and the reality, but yeah, it's once you know that, it's better to exaggerate it and make it work to fit
yeah.
what you want to show.
Or even like you did some nice, just like simple, a lot of like triangle shapes that flow really nicely on the lighting. Yeah, I really like it, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It was definitely fun to work on. Yeah, I love these kind of things, especially since I played Red Dead Redemption 2, I've been
Oh yeah,
so into Western and stuff. So when you add the, fantasy element and horror to it, that's always fun for me.
did you learn anything from the process? Is there anything that you is like thinking of it as like sort of a competition? I mean, I know it's pretty loose, but was there anything that did you approach this any differently than you normally would? Did you learn anything from going through this?
The challenging part for me was that I don't usually record my stuff, and I worked on Procreate, and that for me was challenging because I'm not used to it. I usually just make the drawing on Procreate and then take it back to Photoshop and all of that. So that for me was new. Other than that, it was not such a new theme for me because like I said, I like the Western theme and horror, so it was good. It's just like, combining them together and having to think about having the multiple body parts and how to translate it correctly into this theme. So yeah, that's about it.
I will say, like, seeing yours now, it's funny because we picked very similar directions, but I really like how far you pushed yours. And that's kind of something when I was done with mine, I was like, I really like this, but it's fairly grounded still. And it kind of depends on like what world you're in and like how far from reality you want to stray. But I think I always think it's better to go too far and then dial it back. And
exactly.
I really like just some of the crazy ideas you had with the three heads and the eyes on one head.
Yeah. No, I mean, even
guns mutated.
Yeah, even for me, like obviously you can always improve your art, but even for me, seeing that you also picked the multiple arms, it's not that it's a bad idea. I think it's fun. That's why I had it as well.
Yeah.
It just makes me think what could have been another direction that doesn't involve multiple arms.
Digging deeper.
But still shows this post-apocalyptic mutated. Yeah. So yeah, you can always find something bad that you can, not bad, but something you can improve on.
Yeah, and that's why I like. I didn't used to be like this when I was younger. I think I had too much of an ego. But the older I get, the more I want to collaborate with people because you get like I think if you and I would have worked on this at the same time and like just talked openly about our thought process and stuff, maybe we could have come up with something way cooler. Well, what instead of different arms? For a while, I thought about doing like a really, really big guy that had kind of like was using Gatling guns as pistols or something like that. But I think it'd be cool, and then maybe that'd be a future video sometime we could do where we design something together and like we both end up doing our own version of the drawing or something. But it'd be cool to like do more collaboration and kind of bounce ideas off because I think that's the stuff where it's like I get tunnel vision on one idea and then someone else comes along and says, what about this? And then like totally new ideas start happening. So
no, 100%. Like it's so valuable to work within a team. Like now, like at work when I'm like struggling a little bit with an idea or something, I can just ask my teammates and something that just indicates something that's make you think about the other thing, and now you have something new that you would not have thought about if you were just working by yourself. So I definitely think collaboration is good. But yeah, like I said, I had my first design. I will post it on my Instagram, I think, and you can see
I would love to put it in the video still too. I think it'd be cool if I can flash it up at the end.
Yeah, it's the recording is not the best quality, but yeah, I can send it to you as well.
Yeah, even if you just send me the still image, I can put it up.
Perfect. Then I will do that.
Awesome. Well, that's all I have for you. Again, thanks so much.
No worries. Yeah, thanks, man. It's fun. It's fun to of course to create the art, but also to share the knowledge because there are. I remember when I was starting, and it's a bit frustrating to figure out, but
yeah. No, networking and just talking to people. I mean, I met you at Lightbox because I was bugging Della and Nikki a lot, and then you were next door to them. But I can't stress that enough to people, like just how important networking is, and like even if you don't meet somebody that like gives you a job, I think it's just like learning from other people or just having like that support network of like people you can ask for help when you need it and stuff is
exactly huge. No, and we're lucky that we have the internet because for me, I'm not from the US or Europe, and I grew up in the middle of nowhere in Africa, and it's I didn't have the opportunities to travel the world back then and meet people, but it's good that You
Yeah.
know, when you're putting stuff like this on YouTube, and you never know who's watching and who's gonna benefit from it.
Thanks again to Brahim for being on the episode. Again, fun as always. I got some really big guests coming up in the future. Cynics, Marco Bucci, and hopefully Anthony Jones. So keep posted for those. They should be coming out pretty quickly. Thanks.